Well, good morning. Today's Christmas Eve. What a great day to celebrate. I am Marge Pearson, and I am here to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living, those of you who are here today in person and those of you who are online. Our musicians today include Terry O'Hara on the piano, with Benny Yangco on the clarinet. And we have a wonderful special guest musician today, Diann Spicer. And she will be singing at this evening's candlelight service as well. So a wonderful gift for us. Our audiovisual team today is Erik Perrohe and Ron Edens. And our practitioners today are Laura Lee Bentle on platform and Bev Holland holding high watch or consciousness in the back. And today our message will be given by our senior minister, Reverend Drew Ebersole. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of you. I get so heart-filled every single week when I come here. It doesn't matter if I don't know you, somehow just in brushing against somebody or a word that you hear. I thank you so much for this past year and what's going to happen in the future. I am so very, very grateful. And on that note, we are an inclusive, welcoming, and heart-centered community. And if you're new today and comfortable raising your hand, please do so that we can welcome you. All right. So let's take a moment to remember who we are and what we believe. Wow. Anyway, the Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma is a peaceful, loving, and joyful spiritual community with a shared set of values, principles and practices. We embody an understanding of our oneness with Source. We are committed to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence on the earth. And our vision is to create a world that works for everyone. We help to empower you to bring your dreams to life, and we do this together through practicing meditation and prayer, offering a spiritual home, thank you, teaching universal spiritual principles, giving consciously, living in the present moment, engaging in a life of service, and providing a pathway to peace of mind. And so, announcements we have. Our new YES program for kids continues. And YES stands for the Youth Exploring Spirit. It's a place where children ages 4 to 12 can come and feel safe while learning and growing their spirituality. Kaylin Hamilton, our experienced children's licensed spiritual director, is downstairs, and I hope you'll take a moment to go meet her. She's lovely. We are continuing our collection of Hilltop Food Bank, bring packaged shelf-stable foods any Sunday. I love it. This is coordinated by Sharon Sterling. There's a cookie decorating going on after both services today, so I've been informed to tell you, head down and do some decorating. And I believe we have everything done. So, off to hearing words from our Reverend Drew. And wow, thanks for letting me have my tears.
All right, let's just all take a deep breath in together. This is the pre-service to the evening service, and I'm glad that you're here, and hopefully you'll come to both, which is wonderful. I think that you said it so beautifully and vulnerably and openly, and I think that's what's happening here is people feel safe to open up and be who they are, and it's okay. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is that kind of self-love as well. And how important that is. So I'm so grateful. When you say that, it just hits me. You know, sometimes we get busy in our mind and we start thinking about other things and, I should do this, I gotta be doing that. I haven't wrapped up my yes, blah, 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 blah. And then you say that and it just centers it in again. Oh, that's what's really important. And just so you know, today, you won't see Kaylin if you go down there. You'll see CJ, my wife, who's subbing in today a little bit. She's equally wonderful and amazing, so please go and give her a hug and thank her for being there today. But she showed me something about this billionaire, and he was at the end of his life, and he wrote some words down, and he just said, why did I ever worry about stuff and acquisition and power and position and money, because that is meaningless right now. The only thing that matters is the love I created and the relationships I had. And that is where we are filthy, stinking rich. Right here. And you can take that to the bank, baby. So just know that. I'm just saying. So we'll do gratitudes when we return. I just wanted to offer big gratitude for you all, and we'll have some wonderful music today. And the message, I think, will resonate in this time of year when we give so much. We have to think about ourselves in the equation. And we're lucky to have Diann. She's a very gifted singer, and she's going to present us with good music today and tonight, so I hope you'll come tonight as well.
Silent night, holy Wow. Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Lee Bentle, and I am your practitioner today. And I also come from the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Nation, which I'm so very grateful for, to stand before you and to have these beautiful, just, my heart is just full. I know, today is just a day that is just joyful. And what I know is that I can feel this each and every day of the year. All I have to do is go within and be in the moment. And what I know today is that I dwell in the house of love. And that's why we're here today. Not only to give love, but to receive love. And it comes from here first, comes from your very being. You always think I know what I'm going to say, but I never do, because my heart is open. So let's just take that sentence, I dwell in the house of love. And let's just breathe that in for a moment and just feel that. Feel that love. Feel the peace that comes with that. So what I know today is that my dwelling is filled with peace, with eternal calm. Love attends me in my home of the soul. Joy awaits me in the very secret place of the Most High. My house is built for me as it is built for you, by the hand of love. And I know today is divinely inspired. The words are going to be powerful. Feel them. Take them in, knowing that each and every song that is sung, every piece of the beautiful music that Terry and Benny play, we dwell in the house of love. So with that, I say, and we say, and so it is. I have a few readings for you this morning, and I think they're always very appropriately brought to us. So thank you, Reverend Drew. When I read this first one, I just had to chuckle because I get it. I so get it. Don't worry if people think you're crazy. You are. You are crazy. You have that kind of intoxicating, boundless love that lets you and others dream outside the lines and become who you're destined to be. And that's by Jennifer Elizabeth. Another reading. It's all about falling in love with yourself. I'm going to say that again. It's all about falling in love with yourself and sharing that love with someone who appreciates you, rather than looking for love to compensate for self-love deficit. Eartha Kitt. Woo-hoo. Go, girl. Yeah. And the last reading. Your self-worth is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone telling you who you are. Beyonce. Thank you.
Oh, just marvelous, marvelous. Thank you so much for the gift of that music. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What I love really a lot about our center is that we accept and love everyone as you are. And just in case in point, if you like white lights or colored lights on a Christmas tree, you don't have to choose. See, you don't have to choose here. It's all welcome and all accepted, so it's good. We're doing a lot of reading and learning about the critical importance of self-love. And that's why the title of the talk today is The Gift is You. The gift is you. And I just want to get something straight. Maybe somewhere in your past, your grandparents, or you read something and maybe you went to Catholic school and your nun told you not to think about yourself. Never think about you. Always think about others. What are you going to give? What are you going to do? And there's no doubt the giving is amazing and wonderful. But there's part of that equation that got forgotten, which is caring and loving for yourself is the foundation of being able to love other people. The very foundation of it. Because that is acting out the love of the universe itself from whence you were born. So it is not selfish or indulgent or self-absorbed to love yourself. It is to be arrogant and confident beyond means and think, I can do anything, it's all about me. That's self-absorption. That's very different than self-love. That's over here. Self-absorption is based in fear. I'm not enough. It's a lack of limitation thinking. I need more. I want recognition. I want power, fame, money, fortune to shore up some kind of hole that's in myself. We're going to take a deep breath right now. We're talking about the kind of love that is unconditional, that you would offer freely to a partner, a friend, a spouse, a loved one, a child. That is the love that you deserve. Since it is Christmas Eve, I want to mention something from the Bible. You probably heard this 1,000 times at weddings. They always quote it. But I want you to hear the words. This is 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at the wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. When you hear those words about the definition of what love is and can be, that's what we mean by the power of love, and that's what you deserve to give yourself. In fact, it's essential. If you want to not only create a better world, but you want to become healed, whole, and healthy, it is essential to love yourself that deeply. And it becomes an act of pure altruism. Because when I act that way toward me, lovingly, guess what the next person I meet gets? That same kind of love. If, unwittingly, I do what many of us do, which is criticize ourselves, berate ourselves, say that we're not good enough, say that we failed and fell down, say that it's not the way I want it, it's not the way I like it, I don't like this about my body, my hair, my face. I don't like this about myself. I made a mistake there, I fell down. What does the next person that you meet get? Even though we try to paste a smile on it, they get that energy of discontent, of judgment, of criticism. We try our hardest not to do that, but it's in there. Take a deep breath again. Today we're going to look at a way and a thought that you can love yourself and change the habit of the way you talk to yourself. Because that is the most important place to start your spiritual journey toward awakening, right there. That's it. So that love, and then Scott Peck talks about it beautifully. Not only does self-love and love of others go hand in hand, but ultimately they are indistinguishable. And you know what? That's true. If we believe that we're all one, why would it be different? Why would it be any different? The way I love myself, the way I love others is exactly the same, especially if we're all one. I can't not love me and love you. I can't not love you and love me. I must, by perforce of the very nature of life itself, love myself and others in full oneness. That's connecting with Source. When you see people that are really at ease and not boastful and not arrogant or not rude, that's why it's so important not to be those things. Because when you do that, you're not really displaying love to yourself or others. When you see these people, guess what they have? They have a really deep, rich, selfless, humble love. They appreciate who they are and all that there are flaws and everything. It's not about being perfect. Don't fall into the poison of perfectionism. That's so detrimental. I must be better. I have to be better. I didn't do that good enough. They didn't do it good enough. We need to do better at this. Psst. Let it all go. Let it all go. And come to realize that you are perfect exactly as you are, which is perfectly imperfect. I think Ty says that all the time. Perfectly imperfect. Which is Brett is not, nor Rogers. That's perfectly perfect. Just know that. But it's beautiful to understand that. Why is this so important? Because this is the source of what we came from. This is connecting with that essence of who we are. This is connecting with the soul and spirit and love of the universe. That's why it's so important. Loving yourself is a daily practice. You do it every day in how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you act toward yourself, the challenges you're willing to take on for yourself. Comparison contrast is not self-love. The grass is greener over there. They have that. Why couldn't I be this? Why didn't I have this? Who here has everything they ever wanted all the time, no holds barred, no limitations, never had death, disease, dismemberment ever in your life? Has anyone ever had that? Okay, all right. But the essence is that we all go through challenges. We all go through difficulties. And we learn to morph that into what love really is. Remember, love bears all things. It believes all things. It hopes all things. It endures all things. Love of God and the universe is so big that whatever you think you have done wrong, whatever shame you think you have, whatever deficit you think you have, is an infinitesimal speck of nothingness in the eyes of God, irrelevant. Work at it, yes. Improve, sure. But bear that as your cross, your burden? No. No. Imagine that being lifted off your shoulders right now. Imagine it. Imagine that love and that kindness that you would show to a stranger who's in pain, or a child that loves you, or an animal that's innocent that needs help. Imagine that love. And that's the love the universe has for you. And when we display it for ourselves, we honor that love. Does that make sense? Honor that love. When you take care of yourself, you're a better person for others. When you feel good about yourself, you treat others better. Solange Knowles. So here it is. My mission, should I choose to accept it? This is Anais Nin. My mission, should I choose to accept it, is to find peace with exactly who and what I am, to take pride in my thoughts, my appearance, my talents, my flaws, and to stop this incessant worrying that I can't be loved as I am. Why can't you be loved as you are? Bless you. Why can't you be loved as you are? You can, and you should, and you deserve to, because you're unique and you're perfect exactly as you are. In this grand mosaic of all of us piecing together this beautiful sense of humanity, your piece is beautiful exactly as it is, with everything. And I know this demonstratively, because I stand before you flawed, physically, in so many ways of things I behave in, and I've learned to love and accept it. Just imagine for yourself if you can show that unconditional love to you. that you show to others, what would it look like? What would our world be without the shame and the guilt and the self-berating that we do? Donna Jackson Nakazawa, a great scientific journalist, saw this in herself. She was riddled with adult onset chronic disease. And I may have told some of this to you before, but I want you to hear it again. She was riddled with adult onset chronic disease, and she tried everything the doctors at Johns Hopkins threw at her, medicines and therapies and everything, until she learned that it was about meditation, it was about yoga, and it was about truly loving and accepting herself. And she saw it one day at a gas station. She was pumping gas, and her hand kind of shivered a little bit because of her condition, and the gas spilled out all over her, and she heard a voice from inside her own head that said, "You have a lemon of a body, you are no good, you are worthless." And she gasped at that moment. And she struggled to put the gas back and pull off and sat there in her car and wept, because it became clear to her that that voice had been there for decades, saying this to her over and over again, and it had become her habit of self-beratement. And it was, in her whole journey, part of the cause of her disease. And what she found was, as she released that, she improved dramatically. She learned to say, "I love my body as it is. I love my mind as it is. I love whatever I'm going through. I love whatever challenges I have. I love the moment of time that I'm in." And she saw, for the first time in her life, dramatic improvement. That wasn't the goal. Well, it really was. The goal was self-love. The outcome was improvement. That's a very important thing to remember, is to watch how you talk to yourself. So here's what we're going to talk about: the sense of radical self-acceptance and love, and how you talk to yourself. Brené Brown puts it beautifully. I want to read this quote too. "I now see how owning my own story and loving myself through the process is the bravest thing that I will ever do. I now see that owning my story and loving myself through the process is the bravest thing I will ever do. Because I'm telling you, when you do that, you are capable of anything." Tara Brach talks about drawing on the wisdom of the ages and releasing that shame and fear that binds our hearts. We stop being at war with ourselves. We are free to live fully every precious moment of our lives. And this is a precious moment, because I don't know if I'm going to live to the next moment. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I only know that, like that billionaire, I want today to be rich and meaningful and perfect and beautiful. And you can too, by absorbing your consciousness in loving yourself and in the present moment and loving others unconditionally. One and the same, and Scott Peck says. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's not me or you. It's you and me all the time. So how do we know that's so important? You know, Dr. Emoto, who did some experiments on language and the power of thought on molecular structure of water, also did it with rice containers. He put out 3 rice containers. And every day he would say to the first rice container, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gracious, kind, warm." To the second container, he said, "Hate you." And to the third container, he ignored it completely. You know what happened? His results were stunning. The 3 identical vials of rice and water. The first one fermented into a beautiful, sweet rice wine. It aged perfectly, exactly what rice can do when in the right conditions. He said it was delicious. The second one turned black and sour with the word hate. Isn't that stunning? No difference except for the energy and the word he was putting into it. And the third one that ignored rotted. It rotted. So indifference is the worst. Just ignoring, not caring. But also then hating blackened and soured it. What made it sweet was the power of love and the power of the words that came out of the mouth. So here's what happens. We are bundles of habits. You are a bundle of habits. Embrace that right now. And when you start to change the inner monologue that you have with yourself, you are changing a habit. It might take time. It might take effort. but there is nothing more important that you will do. So I want you to pay attention to when words come up in your head like, that was so dumb, or why did you do that? Or you look in the mirror and say, oh, I look fat, I look ugly, I look terrible. My hair, what's wrong? I'm aging, wrinkles. I need to look like Billy Crystal with Botox. It's like, right? I'm just saying, have you seen some of those Hollywood people that are so pinched and pulled, they look unreal? Because they don't have self-love. Because they want to be something else. Because they think they have to live for approval. You are not, your value is not the sum of what you do. It is the total of who you are. How you exist. When you do that, you touch a power that is indomitable. You touch a grace that is universal. You touch a sweetness that is eternal. And that's what we've heard when we saw Lorelei and Marge and the music, and people wept because you're touching it. You're touching it. Now you can do it with you. I want to read a little story here on something. And by the way, also, this is the creative process itself, what you're experiencing. Your thoughts become things. So you have to realize the power of the way you think about yourself. And it can be simple, and we'll talk about this. We'll do a little quick exercise. It doesn't have to be complicated. It needs to be consistent until you teach your brain. Remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. Neurons in your brain that fire together, wire together. So what you're doing is you're teaching your brain a habit of self-love and teaching it then how to love the universe and teaching it how to connect with the oneness of love all around you. That's it. That's the whole point. When we talk about the creative process, it's not just to make stuff for ourselves, get a car, get a house. Sure, those are fun. But what we're really doing is learning to connect with that oneness of love. We're using creative thought to say, oh, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to understand myself. And it doesn't mean I'm infatuated with myself. It means I truly, graciously, kindly love myself. And when I teach my brain that habit, here's what happens. That becomes who I am. That becomes my very being. And that's who we all become together. That's why it's so important to do this. Here's a story that demonstrates it perfectly, one you probably know very well. June 27th, 1880, a young girl was born. She was afflicted at the age of 19 months with an illness that left her blind and deaf. She was examined by Alexander Graham Bell. As a result, she was sent a 20-year-old teacher named Anne Sullivan, and a remarkable thing transpired. We know this is Helen Keller, right? Through an amazing process of learning to accept, embrace, and love herself, her condition, and release comparison, shame, self-loathing, and pain in her mind, she began the vital journey of self-love. It was incredibly challenging, but through relentless compassion, amazing self-belief, and patient, indomitable trust, she began a journey that astounded the world. To learn to feel objects and associate them with words, with her signals of hands in her palms, read sentences on cardboard, make her own sentences by arranging words in a frame, and then began a slow process of learning to speak. And finally, through an amazing journey, won a mission to Radcliffe College in 1900 and graduated cum laude in 1904. She developed skills never approached by anybody with similar disabilities. She was published in Ladies' Home Journal, McClure's, Atlantic Monthly. She wrote several books: Story of My Life, Optimism, The World I Live In, Light in the Darkness, and her journal, and The Open Door. Listen to the titles of her book. Light in the Darkness, The Open Door, The World I Live In. Amazing, right? Optimism, optimism. She went on to do phenomenal things. We don't need to. She was an activist and a teacher and a friend and a mentor. And she wrote something that I think I want to read to you this morning because I want you to understand this from her perspective. I am not a perfect being. I am not a perfect being. I have more faults than I know what to do with. I am stubborn, impatient, a fighter. I am lazy. I put off till tomorrow when I might do better today. But I have optimism and faith. a vision of good I cherish, and the enthusiasm that pushes me to seek fulfillment regardless of obstacles. Faith is a dynamic power that breaks the chain of routine and gives new, fine-tune to old commonplaces. Faith reinvigorates the will, enriches, and affections and awakens a sense of creativeness. Active faith knows no fear and is not it is a safeguard to me against cynicism and despair. Listen to that. This sense of active faith or self-love knows no fear and is a safeguard to me against cynicism and despair. After all, faith is not one thing or two things or three things. It is the indivisible totality of my beliefs that inspire me. A woman trapped in darkness, no sound, no light, only her hands, found the wisdom of one love. If she can do that, what do you feel inspired to do? What do you feel called to do? What obstacles can you not overcome in your life to connect with your responsibility to love yourself that deeply? As an example to our world. That's the call. And now I'm going to ask the greeters to hand out a little special gift for you. Be careful with it, it's fragile. It might have a little edge on it, so just unwrap it. All you do to unwrap it is untwist the top and open it up. I want you to open this up, and then we're going to talk about what it is. And if you're at home, I'm sorry I couldn't get one to you magically, telepathically. So please know that you can do this in your home with something you have around you. Okay? I'll wait till everybody gets one. Thank you so much, Justin. And let's hear it for our greeters, Justin and Ken. They do such a beautiful job. They're always so selfless and here and kind and warm. We just often, we don't want to take them for granted. 1 second. All right, so did everyone get one? Yeah. Open it up. Okay. So you know what this means, right? The gift is you. You are more precious and important than anything that this world could ever imagine because you are here for a reason. Your raison d'etre is to be love, to get connected back to that love. We're on a journey of having taken away from that and feeling separate, and we come back in and rush into it as a sense of oneness, completeness, joy, fulfillment, compassion. It's not easy, but it's doable. So I want you to take a look in your mirror and look at yourself for a second. See in that mirror what you would see in a child that you loved unconditionally. View it, not for what's wrong, but accepting what is and being perfect with it. It was once said that once you've accepted your flaws, no one can use them against you. George R.R. Martin. Accept who you are. Look at yourself through the eyes of love. Feel that self-love, because there is no one that's more important than you loving yourself. And if you want to, just touch yourself for a second. Your body, your face. You know, I know this firsthand because when I got out of that surgery for my brain tumor, and I looked like Frankenstein, I had to, in that moment, understand what true acceptance and love is. And I did. I just looked at myself over and over again. I said, you're beautiful just as you are. Even my droopy little eye. You know, my eye almost couldn't see. I was going to lose it. You know how I saved it? I loved it. I loved it. I would touch that eye and say, you're doing so good. Just hang in there. We got this. You're going to be all right. We're going to create a pathway to help you heal, I promise. And they would tape it down every night, and I had to go through surgeries on it. And I couldn't produce tears or any kind of liquid to help it heal, so I had to drop and drop. And then one day, through relentless self-love, you know what happened? My eye became moist on its own. The doctor said I would see. And that came from love. It came from true, earnest love. The idea for you to employ in this is ACE, A-C-E, acceptance, compassion, empowerment. Think of Helen Keller. Acceptance, acceptance. I mean, is that not the shining example of what self-love can do? Acceptance, acceptance. Say it now with me. Acceptance, if you choose to. Acceptance. Compassion. Empowerment. Empowerment not for myself, but empowerment to make a more beautiful and loving world. If you can use your creative power for anything, use it to create love for yourself that embodies the kind of love and peace that you wish to see in the world. For that is exactly where to begin. So I want you to go now and concentrate and build a practice of self-love. And do it right now for the love of the universe, for the reason that you were born. And if you do, you will see something transpire that is beyond your wildest dreams. Bless you. Now, great love. Take your offering in your hand and put your own self-love into what you're giving. And let's say our message together. Oh, may the greeters please come forward. Almost forgot. Will the greeters please come forward? Thank you. All right. And now we'll say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
I just want to give you a few words about this next piece. Obviously, what you heard was not the Geistliches Wiegenlied, but the Child of Peace. And so this is the other piece that we are going to play, the Geistliches Wiegenlied by Johannes Brahms. What is very remarkable about this piece is that it is scored for viola, soprano, or a sing stima, so a voice, and piano. And most of Brahms' pieces for clarinet were all transcribed for the viola. So I thought that it would be good to reciprocate that by transcribing the viola part to the clarinet. So I hope you enjoy this piece.
Drew some more love. Beautiful message, just beautiful. And our talented musicians, thank you so much for touching my heart. And I have to give kudos to Justin for suggesting that our beautiful singer today. And what a way to bring in Christmas. Yeah, it's just beautiful. And what I know today is that when we dwell in the house of love, that's where we stand. And so many things we're going through with this beautiful brain of mine because, you know, I love myself today. And, you know, years ago I couldn't have told you that. And it's all because I have a foundation today. I have a foundation in love, in joy, in compassion. And if you want to know more about how to build that foundation, I have a beautiful class coming up called Foundations. Right? And it's I can't say any more than that because today I walk on a very firm foundation. And let us just close our eyes and feel all the words from Reverend Drew today about self-love. It's probably the most selfless thing one can do for one. And the music that just touched my inner being. And for those of you who may have some ailments, who may be going through some struggles, just know that the love that is brought to you, from your Creator, from whomever that person may be, know that you are loved because you are whole, complete, and perfect. I send extra love out to my dear friend whose husband's going to be having surgery the day after Christmas, and I know that is going to be perfect. The pain will dissipate, and they will be healed of all pain. So thank you. Lemlets wado as inkus bu'us. We are all one heart today and every day. And so be blessed, be joyful, and show the love for yourself so others will shine. And with that, let us say, and so it is. So please join the practitioners in the back if you'd like. And we're going to rise and sing another song, all of us.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. Look in the mirror. Every time you pass the mirror, you're going to say, I love you. Every time you go to bed, you're going to hug yourself and say, I love you. Because you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. The Buddha, go forth and conquer.